Drew, what up, bro? Appreciate you coming on here, man.
My pleasure. The famous, the best, D Green.
My God, yo, for the people watching this that are either in the undeterred community or maybe not that don't know about you, kind of explain a little bit about like what you do.
My name is Drew Cross. I'm still currently an online fitness coach. I've been doing that for years, but transitioning into a podcast strategist where we help people launch their podcast and then give them a strategy so that they're not tied to every aspect of it every day, which makes it a lot easier for them. And I just love people in general.
Yeah, bro, you're like, how long have you been in like the our community for undeterred?
Um, I wasn't in it when it first started,
Like the
and
one
then
on school?
yep, when it first started, I wasn't in it. I think I came in maybe about like 2 months later.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think
I
when
think
you
you were in it pretty soon because I had started on Circle, but then I switched to school. And I think
I
you,
might
because it's
have
only I
been
only started it in like March or something.
of this year,
Yeah, yeah, like March or April.
so it might have been. It may have, I think it was around my birthday, so it may have been April, and then we had a big transition. So I took a break off from almost everything outside of the transition, but I would probably say now I took like 2 months off and then just came back
And what's crazy is
not
like
too
you
long
were
ago.
still like at the top of the leaderboard basically like the whole time. So I'm like,
I
man,
genuinely love I love what you're doing with the group, and I genuinely love like just seeing people like just win in life, business, or just like community. I believe like we're made for community, and it feels better in your group than it does on social media.
I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, I don't even really post on social media anymore. I think we were talking about this yesterday in the mastermind, but it's like figure out like what your personality is. I think there's genuinely
Mm,
people that don't really care about people, and that's not a good or bad thing. It's just you probably shouldn't run a community. Just
no.
maybe you invest in a business where you don't really have to deal with people, you hire other people. But I think if you do like a community, you don't necessarily have to take advice from people that don't like people because they're going to point you in a different direction. So like you got to know
Yeah.
yourself, and it's not a right or a wrong way. It's like what works best like for you. So I think it's cool that you mentioned that.
That's a something to think about because if you don't like people, you definitely shouldn't have a community. But you're probably not going to do that well either on social media outside of just being like just about money, and that's not going to last for a long time. So, no, I love the community that you've built, and I love seeing how far it's come from the first day I've been in there. It's come a long ways, and like it's awesome, and I love it.
Appreciate you, bro. So like, how did you get to like where you're at now? Like, so you're doing fitness, you're
hmm
transitioning to podcast, but like, what? How did you kind of like start your entrepreneurial like journey?
So, not to sound like a cliche, I think I always had like an entrepreneur mind. When I was working at an insurance company, I was training people on the side, and I was gonna,
Fitness wise training.
yeah, I was
Okay.
doing fitness training on the side, and I was gonna just keep going at both of them, and just like a lot of prayer. And I was like, I really want to pursue this a little bit more. And the insurance job I was working, I was like, there's no, you're not gonna be the CEO, or like, there was like nowhere you were gonna go outside of where you were at, and I was like, the people around me are like 30 years older than me, and they're in the same place. So this is
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So just started training people on the side, and then after that, I left that job and I started working as an independent
But
contractor.
what? Why were you training people? Like, why was that the thing that you like decided to do?
Honestly, I was training myself, and people kept asking me for help. So I never
Okay.
got into training people thinking that like I got the sauce or anything like that. People kept asking me, so I was like, all right, I'll help you here and there, and it just kept happening.
Like organic in a sense.
Yeah, like it was never me thinking like I've wanted to train people all my life. That was
So
never
you
my
had just
thought.
got into fitness, got good at it. People were asking what you do and if you could help them, and that just kind of naturally happened. What year was
Yeah,
this?
this was 2000 and 2010.
Okay.
No,
And
2000,
then
2009, 2009.
so 2009. So then you're working insurance, and then you said you left that to go do a different job.
I left that to go do training full time.
Oh, nice. Okay.
which I probably would never recommend to to any to anyone.
Why is that?
So the so like, you're an entrepreneur, so you know, like usually you think automatically, if I'm putting my time in two buckets, like a full time job and a side hustle, so to say, if I just put all my time into the side hustle and it becomes my main thing, it's gonna automatically just scale. It's gonna just grow.
Right.
This it sounds right theoretically, but unless you have like some systems, unless you have like some savings, and unless you have like a way to be getting the amount of clients you need to cover what you're leaving, you're gonna be like frustrated immediately. And when I was leaving my job, the company I was doing independent contract work for, they had a contract with a contract with a school, a college, a really known well college. But I didn't know the contract was paying them so little. What they were gonna try to pay me out of it, I was like, I can just stay at my insurance job and have benefits and sit at the desk and write programs all day. So, long story short, I don't recommend just doing that because being a fitness trainer is such a commodity, and
Okay.
anybody can become a trainer in like 3 weeks. So, it's a lot you have to do unless you are really gonna niche down and separate yourself. But I wouldn't recommend it unless like someone knows for a fact they have tons of clients and they have tons of systems that are gonna work outside of the traditional way that
What
trainers just do
what
it.
what would you have if you go like back in time and give yourself like advice? Like, what would you have told yourself to do like differently?
Oh, go train rich people. Go train
But
rich
full
people.
time.
If as a trainer or just in that predicament.
So like you're working, you're doing insurance, you're
Hmm.
also training, and you're like you have the thought, which a lot of us have, which is like if I only focus on my side hustle, obviously that can just surpass my job.
Yeah,
And so that's what you did, but you're like, I wouldn't suggest that. So like, what would you have? So you told yourself to do instead.
I would have said get some clients from where you're at right now at the insurance company. Start training them, and I would say don't leave the job until you have like a certain amount of money that's going to cover a certain amount of months.
Okay.
And also too because of benefits and things of that nature. But I would have said try not to do a lot of one-on-ones. Try to get groups. Have like a big group and then have a specialized group and have that specialized group pay more. And if you can nail those things before you leave, then go ahead because now you can walk into some almost like some guaranteed money versus I'm just gonna do it by a wing and a prayer. Like
Yeah.
it'll work if you jump, but it's like maybe you don't have to jump like that.
It's kind of like I guess like it's like you don't have the money from your entrepreneur from your business yet, but you're like, if I jump, it will get there. But then when it's not, that's like more frustrating versus like
Yeah.
I guess like what you're saying is like keep the job until this makes a certain amount of money, maybe to cover the basics or
Hmm.
whatever it is, and then go on to the next thing.
Because it seems super fun being an entrepreneur. Like from the
Yeah,
outside, it's like, oh my gosh, you get to make your own time, like your own schedule. There's so much freedom you got. You like with freedom comes, uh, you work probably more than you think,
yeah,
and
facts.
like your mind doesn't your mind doesn't really shut off as it as it could until you get better at it. And just more so, I'm not saying that anybody shouldn't go and make a jump at being a trainer or whatever they want to be. I would just say I would do it totally different.
So what happened from there?
So from there, I became a trainer and I started working for a company. And quickly, I found out that this company had no systems, no structure.
It
Their
was like a
goal,
gym or something, or what
yeah,
was it?
it was a gym. It was
Okay.
a CrossFit gym, and their goal with me was, which was wild, was to get me on their competitors team to compete for them. And I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to like.
Wait, what? Explain that. Explain that.
So their whole idea was if we have him here full time, he'll probably train like from 6 to 10. take maybe a client, and then train again at night to compete on a bigger level. And I'm like, I'm not here to like become a competitor. Like, I have to make money, and I left a job to make money, not to have more time to train. So I quickly found that they didn't have any systems. The majority of the coaches were not doing well at all. Probably 90% of the coaches were not doing well at all. They were basically just at the gym all day. There was no marketing.
Dang.
It was just no sales. It was a nightmare. So I had to start like figuring things out really, really quick. Like I got to start learning how to market, how to sell, uh, certain areas to go to sell. Can I get into some schools? And that's why I say I wish I knew all of that before I just made the jump, because I probably wouldn't have
Oh
made the
yeah,
jump that quick, because I was walking into like almost real entrepreneurship. Like you got to figure this all out quick, like
yeah.
on your own versus having a plan. So after that, that's what I had to do it for a couple of years, and they ended up the owners ended up realizing that I wasn't gonna just be there training all day to compete for them, and it just got sticky after that. Like they tried to maneuver me in a way where I was like capped. They were like, "Hey, I had a T-shirt brand back then. Like, you can't wear your T-shirts in here because people want to buy them. People are gravitating towards you too much in your classes, so we're gonna take away your classes." And it became so ugly and sticky.
Where
And
where were you located at this point in time?
this point, it was Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, okay. And
So
you're married at this time?
at that time, I wasn't.
Okay.
Thank God I wasn't at that time. So at that time, all of that was happening, and then eventually they came to me and they were like, "Hey, we're not going to be allowing trainers to do one-on-ones anymore here." And I'm like, "That's the only thing I do here. Like, you guys took me off the classes. I've taught at schools for you guys. I did a lot for the company." And they were like, "Hey, you have like 10 days to tell your clients." So
Oh,
I'm like,
thanks. Great.
I'm like,
How generous. How kind of you
all
guys.
kind 10 whole days. So I'm like, I got 10 days to tell them that I'm not going to be training here anymore. And the cool thing that happened was, I went in the car and I just prayed and I was like, God, I need some help. I don't have a place. I can't be at the track all day training people and stuff like that. And I literally just put out. I sent my clients and I was like, hey, this is what happened. If you just give me a couple of days, like I can try to figure something out. And they all said, we're not staying here. So wherever you go, we're going. Even if it's at a parking lot, we're going. So I put out a Facebook post, and this was before Chat GPT, so it was just raw me.
Yeah, of course. That's how we used to have to do, kids. We used to have to use our brains for to be honest,
Before
our own brains.
that's what we had to do, kids. So so I was like, I had an opportunity to work for this company. They told me today's my last day, and I just listed everything I did for the company: marketing, sales, training kids, training
Bro, you
teachers,
remember
all of
those
it.
days you're like,
Yeah.
you got to write a post and you're just sitting there trying to think like
It's just you.
how to put it. It's just you.
It's and it's raw. I
Yeah.
think I think that's what makes us realize, like, all right, Chat
Oh
GPT
man.
is a great tool, but
It really is, man.
if we didn't have it, we still know how to get it done.
True,
Like
true.
it
Because we
was,
had to. You had to
you
figure it
had
out
no
back then.
you had no choice. But so it was
So you do
the
this post on Facebook, letting
yep.
people know kind of like what direction you're going in.
Well, I just let them know that I have 10 days, but I was like, I'm not gonna go back. Like they just told me I have 10 days. Like I'm not gonna go back to them. And two people hit me up immediately. One person was like, "Hey, I got a spot. If you want to rent out, it's an adult daycare. If you want to rent this out, I have a spot."
Adult daycare.
Yeah,
What's that?
it's more so for like I never heard of it until then. It's more so for like older people.
Oh, okay.
So
Like
they
assisted living almost.
yeah, but they call it adult daycare. So there's some differences in it. I never heard of it until that point.
So they're probably not living there. It's just like you
No,
can.
they're not living there. No, they're not living
Okay,
there.
so
No,
okay,
no.
that makes sense. So they can go there and probably help them out for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, they go
Someone's
there.
parent or something.
they go there like daytime and they leave around like 4, kind of like a daycare. So
Okay.
this person was like that, and I was like, I'll come check it out. And then somebody else, so I was literally probably 3 minutes from the gym, hit me up, and they was like, "Hey, we've watched you for years. I don't have much space, but I have a little space," and it was the closet of a supplement company. It was literally a closet, no windows, nothing.
Wow.
And I went, and they were like, it's not much, but we can work out some pricing. I know you just this just happened, so we can do like you give me a percentage of what you get paid in. That started me on my own.
Bro, that's crazy.
It
So,
was wild.
okay, so you put out this post, this people hit you up, they let you know about like the space. You go see it. What are your thoughts like during that time? Like when you go see it, like,
So my first thought about the adult daycare, I was like, this is I can't afford this right now. It's massive, it's far, and it's gonna be super weird trying to have any equipment in here, because I gotta leave with it. So I was thankful for that. I didn't take that. The supplement company, it was just like a junky old closet. So I was like, if you allow me to like throw some stuff away and move some stuff, I can see if I can make it work. And it ended up working for a while. We had I don't know how we had it, but we would get like 18 people in the closet. Like D, this is like small as like a one car garage. Probably a little bit smaller. And I was just determined. I was like, first I was like, no one's gonna shut me down and me not respond.
if
And
you had to
then
use a word other than determined, what would you use?
undeterred, yeah. That's exactly what the word was. And I was like, I had no equipment, so I was like, we're gonna just try to
Wait,
get
you had no
equipment.
equipment.
No equipment because I was training.
Nah,
I
that's
was
another
training at
level.
this gym, so they had the
They had
equipment there.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so they really were like, we're gonna shut him down. Like, there's no way he's
Yeah.
gonna be able to like find a place, get equipment that quick. And I just literally, I told my clients, I was like, hey, I have trust in God. I'm gonna pray, and whatever He leads me to do, or however I can act on getting equipment, I will. But it may be like body weight exercises for a few a few weeks and some boxing stuff. And within literally probably, kid you not, within probably 4 months, we had weights, squat rack, all we had like tons of stuff. I don't know how it fit in there, but we had that stuff in there. So I was like, let's rock and roll, man. I started doing boxing more. But yeah, it was a punch in the gut. Like, I do all the stuff for this company. I left my full time job, and then now
How long were you there with them?
I was at that company for at least 5 years.
5 years,
Yeah,
bro. That's insane.
but I put in
So
work too.
here's like an important question that I have for you, that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough. So this happens to you, right? Where they're like, hey, you're not going to be able to do the one on. Basically, they're like, all the stuff you're doing is like, we're just going to shut you down.
Hmm.
And then you have an opportunity that's not really like an opportunity. It's an opportunity, but not like an ideal situation. So it's like, okay, you're going to be in a closet, no equipment, still got to find clients. What made you like be like, hey, I'm going to figure this out versus like, all right, like training obviously is not working for me. This is too hard, which I feel like a lot of people would do. Like,
Hmm.
what do you think made you be like, no, I have to figure out like how to make this work?
At first, it was I got to get back at these guys. Like,
Mm.
at first it was
I
like,
can't just let them shut me down like
yeah, I
that,
was like,
basically.
that's not gonna happen. I was like that's you're not gonna just shut me down and me just sit here and take it. But I think second, I've always had this desire. I still have it to this day to help people like, and this sounds like a cliche, like transform through their body and their mind. And I just thought they can't take away my skill. Like, they can take away where I'm doing it at, but they can't take away
That's fire.
my skill. Yeah. So I was like, I've developed the skill from literally learning how to work out and learning how to talk to people while they're working out and all that stuff. So I was like, I can kind of do that anywhere. It just looks really bad right now because I'm going from having access to a full CrossFit gym to a closet with no windows, no signs. So it's just straight word of mouth social media marketing. And then
Did
eventually, go
did you
ahead.
guys have like a name for it? Did you like call it anything?
Yeah, it was called I'm Never Quitting. And then I changed it to Conquer. So that
Well, I mean, did you call like the space anything? Like,
now we just called
or
it
was it
like
just like, hey, we're meeting up at?
so
Does that make sense?
the supplement company had the front of the building and they were called
Oh,
Max
okay.
Muscle. So I was like, meet me in the back of Max Muscle, which
So
sounds
like they're going through their company basically to get to where you're at.
no, they had a back closet door. So
Okay,
that was kind of cool where you had to like find the door because it was like a bunch of doors.
bro, it's just
it's
such
so
a
bad.
yeah. I feel like I don't know, man. Like I think I've lived in like 9 countries or something like that, and I think
Wow.
sometimes we forget that like we really have a blessed life, and I think people want it too easily. And it's like, bro, you're
Yeah.
not just gonna be making 100K, 10K, 5K per month just because you're like I'm talented. It's like
No.
there's things that you really have to go through and to show God, the universe, yourself that like I actually want to make this possible. And I think people will listen to like without listening to the story, they'll look at you or Alex Ramosi or whoever and be like, "What's the secret sauce?" And it's like there's secret sauce kind of that you can follow, but there's going to be unknown challenges that all of us have to follow, and you just have
All
to
of
like
us.
you got to push through those, or none of that stuff's
Oh,
going to work.
you said it on the post I had seen you put out. I think this morning about one of the secrets is practice.
Yeah,
Like the secret is, can you withstand? Like, can you decide like I'm going to figure this out? I would have asked for more help if I knew better, like if I knew what I knew now. But I was just like, hey, if they can't find the door, I'm just gonna leave the door open so they see I'm in here, or I'm gonna park in front of the door. But I'm gonna figure it out, or I'm gonna die trying, like one of them. But yeah, I think people have the idea that what they see with somebody now, like if somebody saw your group, they're like, he has a 200 plus member group, and people are in there commenting and doing life and all that good stuff. But it's like, but he had to start it with nobody.
yeah. And the thing, I don't think I've talked about this on any of the other member interviews I've done, but the thing even with that is the reason people are like, why did you get on school? And people like, I saw an ad, I saw it from Ozzy, I saw this, blah blah. Like, I didn't even want to be on school. It wasn't like I wanted to
Mm.
sign up. The thing was like I was running my business on Circle, and because it was a new business, it wasn't making a lot of money, and because it wasn't making a lot of money, I missed the payment. It's like a $200 payment, so I couldn't pay. And so I'm telling my wife like I can't even one, I missed the payment, and two, I can't make money because if people click the link, it's not going to take them into anything because my whole community isn't available
Wow.
until I make this payment. And so, how am I going to make the money to make the payment if it's like chicken and egg type of situation? So I was like, what if we started a school community, made it free, can at least get some people in there, and then maybe ask those people if they want to join the other thing. So it's just
Yeah.
out of necessity, really. And then I told her, I was like, you know what? If I do this, I'm gonna go all in. Like, I'm not gonna just half-ass it and just like be on there and like just. I'm not gonna be like, hey, let me test it out. I'm like, I'm gonna go full force and see what happens. And
Oof.
so that was out of like, bro, like pure like a Hail Mary. Like, bro, I have to try this and see like what happens. I was like, and after it going well, I was like, okay, we're just gonna ditch Circle and just like go all in on school. So
Wow.
even that is like there was an obstacle just to even get started. You know what I mean? Let alone get to where it is.
That's where Undeterred comes from. Like, there's gonna be it. There's nothing you're gonna go after that's not where an obstacle doesn't come out. Like, but it's
Facts.
like use it either as a stepping stone or a cool story, or you just get around it, or you figure it out. And we have so much access to people nowadays. Like your group, like you ask something in one of I think it's on Mondays or Tuesdays. Like, where do you need help with?
Yeah,
Like
every
that's a
Monday. Yeah.
prime opportunity to be like, this is an obstacle I have. Let me get some advice or help, and then the obstacle can probably leave, or you just get the courage to be like, I got to get past this.
100%, man. Yeah, for me, it's just I've met so many entrepreneurs in different countries where it's like they just don't have, and it's not even entrepreneurs, just people in general, bro. I feel like I am the type of person I'll ask, like I ask everybody like, "How you doing?" And if somebody's like, "Ah, man, I'm doing okay. How you doing?" Like most people are like, "Oh no, I'm doing good." I never do that. I'm like, "Wait, why is it? Why
Mm,
is it just okay?" And there's been so many people that just like random, not randomly, but like random people that will just like start crying to me. And Lauren will be like, "What the heck happened?" I'm like these people don't really have anyone to talk to, you know. And I think
Mm,
people are going through life and they just feel like they don't have genuine support. And people are selling what looks like genuine support, but they really just want your money. And then when you
yeah.
get, especially entrepreneurship, you get in there and it's like they it's not that they don't want you to win, but they want you to win so they can have a testimonial so they can make more money. Like, do they really want Drew to like do good, or do they
Yeah.
want you to give? You know what I mean? And so the
Yeah.
moment you're not doing good, it's like, well, work for D, so just go through the course. Like you're not listening. It's not a lot of the times like this deep support. So that's where I was like, man, I gotta. I don't know. I just felt like God kept telling me like focus on the people, and before I was focused on the money of like, man, it's how much I want to make per month. And it's like, man, I'm gonna just try to help people and see what happens. You know what I mean? So that's
Mm.
just kind of like the journey we're on. I think we'll see in a year or two maybe what that looks like. But that's just like the mission with this now.
You know the cool part, and like giving you your flowers like while you're alive is, you know, you reached out to me when you saw me not in the group, and you weren't reaching out just so I can get back in the group.
Yeah,
Like you had known that I was like in a transition, like, and you reached out like, and I'm like, people don't do that. It's just like, hey, can you get back in the group real quick so
facts.
we can make some more posts or money or something like that. So thanks to that, but I also think, like what you said, most people would have given up when the circle payment couldn't get paid. They would have just thought like this is it.
That's
Maybe
it.
this is not for me.
Yeah,
Maybe let's just go to like some other type of thing and probably miss something that was pivotal in their life.
I think going back to what you said about messaging, I was talking to this. I forget who I was talking to this about, but I was like maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? Like people didn't understand if you create free content on social media that you can monetize it. They would be like, why are you spending all this time? You bought a camera, you're paying an editor, you're spending time, energy, and money. Like people would be like, that's stupid. What are you doing? Like go get a real job. But because we've had so many people make money doing it, now like it's proven. And I think people feel like if I don't ask Drew to get back into the community, if I don't try to get him on a call, like he's not going to pay because there hasn't been enough people to talk about the dots connecting. And
Hmm.
it's not that you do it because of this, but me knowing that you're moving from house to house and then not hearing from you, thinking like, man, maybe something's wrong or like, how's this guy doing, and checking in on you, and not making it about the community makes you more likely to want to join
Yeah,
the community than me doing it. And I think if I that's what I realized. Like if you just give people a good vibe, like they're gonna want to do the other stuff that you want. It's just not today. And I think that's the issue. It's like kind of like dating, right? It's like,
yeah.
yeah, you can't just go on one date and be like, well, why isn't she doing everything else? It's like, bro, like, yes, it worked, but it's like it takes time, you know what I mean? And over time, people get so that's kind of like I want to hopefully be somebody that is an example of that because I think a lot of entrepreneurs are so stressed because they need the money. Like you said, they made the jump and now they think like I just got to be transactional with these people, and it's like just helping them
Yeah.
eventually gets them to that point.
The bad thing with just being transactional is that you're not gonna get the money usually that last, and you're gonna burn a lot of bridges along
Mm,
the way. We're down the line, you don't know that you might can do business with that person because they're like, hey, this person like cares about me as a person, not just as a dollar sign. And like you said, like if you're just genuinely helping people and just seeing about them, they're gonna want to do good just for you, and they're gonna want to be around your community and things like that. It's just that entrepreneur downfall because we see it on social media sometimes. Like you should be making $20,000 a month, like just by doing this one play, and it's like that's not how. I know like there's tons of money in the world, but that's just not how it works.
right. So wait, so you go from what was like the next step? So like you're working in this like closet, no equipment, like you start figuring that out. Like where did you go from there?
So it was a guy in there, and the guy who told me to come over there, he he ran the supplement company and he trained people too. So like we kind of like shared space, but it didn't collide. He moved out of state. He moved out of state, so it was just me and the owner of that place. The owner didn't train people at all, so it was no colliding. I paid him my rent. The guy came back from California because he couldn't make it out there. He took the entrepreneur jump without having some
Yeah,
entrepreneur wisdom, so he had to come back. and he started like sneaking in using my stuff when I wasn't there.
Oh wow.
And I found out because we would always clean up and put our stuff back a certain way, and like I would see
He
like
didn't
chalk.
know that, so then
Yeah,
he's just
yeah.
thinking I'm just putting it back how it was, but it's
No, I
like
would
that's
see.
not how
Yes,
it
not how
was.
it was. So I would see chalk on the stuff. I would see the floor would be like dirty. I was like, hey God, if you trust me with this 300 square foot space, I'm gonna keep it clean. I'm gonna make sure it's as best as I can every day. And when I kept seeing it, like I found out, like I caught him in there one day, and I'm like, yo, bro, what are you like? What are you doing? Like this is my stuff. Like you could have like we could have
Ask me
talked
or
and
something,
asked me.
yeah.
We could have like figured something out or split it or something like that. But I'm not paying all the rent, and you're using my stuff and getting paid for it. So I had to find another space, and
Oh, like he was in there with clients.
he's in with clients. Yeah.
Ah, no, that's
So I'm
dirty.
like, you can't be making money off of my stuff, and I don't know about it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, so we had to find another space, and again, I'm at this entrepreneur place where I'm not making a lot of money, so I can't go afford a space. And at the time, my aunt had a church, and I was training her at her house. And I I just asked her. I was like, Auntie, can you just like pray for me? Because like this is getting annoying now. Like now I do want to go and get some other type of job. And she prayed, and then like maybe like an hour later, she hit me up, and she was like, hey, come by the church on Friday. And I come, and she's like, she just showed me the second floor of a church, and she was like, we can work something out if you want. You know, it's an empty space. We're not using it right now. And I'm like, the second floor of a church, and like this is not going like the entrepreneur path that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
And we ended up renting that space, and I don't know how we did it. People from all walks of life, all religions came to that to that space, and we made it work there.
Man, that's crazy. Were people, did you see people like coming closer to God from being in that space? Or were there any of that? They saw people started going to church that maybe weren't before.
Well, with all my training, I always tell people like I'm never going to force you to be a Christian or my religion at all. It's something that I believe, and I'm not gonna like shy away from if you're asking me about something that I don't agree with. I'll respectfully disagree. So I was always just talking about faith if they asked me. So people were coming closer to God. Then at the church, the crazier thing was people weren't joining that church. They were just still going to like other churches, but we would have more talks about God and stuff like that more than
They say, I'm gonna go to
regular.
church, but I ain't going here.
Yeah, and there was nothing. I don't think it was any shade against that church. I kept telling them like, don't make me anything. Like, go to God. Like, I'm just a person in the middle, but don't make me like the person you have to like go to. So that happened, but the crazier thing was that place had it was like in an industrial area, so I couldn't market by being in a storefront. It was in the back of the church, so like
Man,
every place I went almost was like I did not have a
like
storefront. I
hidden.
did. Yeah, it was like always hidden. So we made it work there, and we were training on the second floor of a church, which was wild.
And then what happened after that?
So after that, it was just leading into it's like it sounds
And
like a
what year
long
is
story.
this?
This was 2016, 17.
Oh wow, okay. So we still got a little while to go.
Yeah, so we ended up, and it comes to an end. We ended up uh, renting from a gym nearby.
And now you were just making more money at that point, or how was that possible?
I was starting to make more money, but this is also when I got married.
Okay.
So that quickly changed everything from now being a single person. You know, you can grind when you're single, and you can eat you can eat off the dollar menu and be good for like just by
Yeah,
yourself.
facts.
But now I had a wife, and my wife I had already had a daughter, so now I'm a husband and a
I don't think
father.
I knew that. Okay.
Yeah. So my oldest, I came into her life when she was 12.
Okay.
So now I
When
have a
she was
wife
12.
when she was 12.
Wow, okay.
So now I'm like, you're a husband and a father running a fitness business. So we started renting from the gym because it gave more pros where like I didn't have to open the gym, I didn't have to close the gym. It was fully equipped. So I didn't have to worry about equipment anymore. All of those pluses and things like that. So it grew more and more, and then COVID happened.
Mm.
Before we got to even 6 months, COVID happened, and that 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 was a punch in the gut. So I started. I think this is probably when I initially met you. I just started saying I'm gonna just train some people in my garage, and I turned my garage into a gym and trained people, just trained people there, which wasn't the best idea because I never got a chance to separate work from home. And then once that started happening, that's when they started to trickle down. I was like, I can't be tied to this all day. The trainer grind is usually you work early in the morning before people go to work, and then when people get off. And by that time, I had my second daughter, and I was like, I got to figure something out. So I started going towards online and then some marketing. But yeah, none of that path started because I had like this deep rooted passion for physical training with people. It's just more so like I just love to see people like develop, and that was a lane that I was somewhat in and that I gravitated towards, but none of it was because like I just knew when I was a young kid I had to be a fitness trainer. It was none of that.
So what I want to ask you next, I think, is important because one of my goals with these interviews, podcasts, whatever you want to call them, is that people can hear like different people's stories. So my main focus is like the members, not like random people, but we
Hmm.
can get to know each other. But I also think it's cool that I don't see a lot of other podcasts doing is sometimes the guest needs help with something,
Hmm.
but they aren't able to express it. And I think
Mm.
we never know who's watching it and who
Yeah,
might be like,
yeah.
I like that story. And I would love to help, even if it's financially, maybe it's a connection, whatever. So my question is like, you've been talking in the community about like, man, I possibly want to transition from doing fitness to podcasting. Can you speak a little bit about like what that, like why and like what that looks like?
I think the deeper why of my love for podcasting is I've always felt like the underdogs never got heard, and I always felt like people who had not just like a cool story, but have like actually have like messages that can move people to take action or move people out of depression. I usually feel like they've never had a chance to speak. So that's the underlying part of it. The podcasting part is I just believe like you get a chance to have more leverage. You can record once a week or however long you can put it in different places, but you're not tied to an algorithm and you're not tied to just like the social media grind. So I did it. I had a boot camp. I had two boot camps before back in the day for podcasting because I wanted to teach people into in groups like a community, and they did well, but that like gnawing feeling of I know fitness because I've done it for 14 years. I should just stay there. That has always been like the wrestle. Like,
Okay,
do
yeah.
you leave what you know for 14 years and you can get anybody to lose weight and get them in shape, or is this new thing something shiny that you're chasing, or is it just something that you love, or is it a real need you see for people? So that's actually like I'm being honest, like that's actually sometimes the struggle. Like, do I just stick with what I've known? Is this thing shiny syndrome?
I'll tell you something that happened to me because I was in a similar situation,
Mm-hmm.
and I was on kind of like a virtual summit. Like someone asked me to speak, and at the time I was doing coaching for entrepreneurs with like YouTube, and I was speaking. The lady just like cut me off, like in front of everybody. The lady that was running it, and she just went on this like rant talking about like I feel like what the knowledge that you have goes deeper than just YouTube, and I feel like God's calling you to do something bigger. Like she went in like in depth,
Mm.
and then it was like very like she just went in like a different mode. I've never like seen her in this mode, and then she's just like, "I'm sorry like that I did that, but I just felt like God called me to say whatever I just said. Like do with that what you want." And it's like, okay,
Wow.
let's get back to like what we're talking about. So obviously like that kind of like hit me hard. I was like, wow, that was like wild. Like I've never seen someone just kind of go in like that. So afterwards, I went on a walk, and I feel like God was asking me an important question that I feel like people should think about. And He said, "I will help you be successful, but you have to let me know what, and it can only be one thing." And so I was like, "Okay, would I pick YouTube? Would I want to be if I was on TV? Hey, this is the guy that's the number one bestseller on a YouTube book or whatever." And I was like, "No, no," because I'm like, if it's gonna be hard, and God is gonna have to obviously support me to get through the challenges, like what is that thing? Like what is at the end? And I was like, that's not it. So I was actually in Hungary. I was in Budapest walking around, and I just saw these people. Obviously, when I was walking around, I was like, man, a lot of these people just kind of gave up on their dreams. And I feel like I am here because I didn't. And if I could be the person that's known for helping people do that, that would be dope for me. And it's not about me, but it's about how I can help like all these different people around the world like achieve the thing that they want to do. And so then I'm like, okay, now I got clarity on like what it is, but now I actually have to do it, right? Because like it's one thing to not know, but then you know, and then it's like, okay, now what I got to do? And I was just like, I just have to like go for it and trust that eventually like it's going to make sense, you know? And that was
Ooh.
like almost 2 years ago, like a year and a half ago. So maybe that's something like maybe that's the question. Obviously, like not at this very second, but something that you could just think about is like all right, if God were to make me successful in one area, like what would it be?
You
It
know
made
what's so,
it a lot easier for me to answer that way.
you know what's so crazy? I kid you not. My phone's charging. If I can show you my phone this morning, I kid you not. This is a crazy confirmation. In my phone this morning, I finished praying and then I went to the gym and I literally put down if if it was up to me to really choose and it was no money attached to it. It was just like you choose the path that you feel that you would be the most successful in. It wasn't podcasting, and it made me just like it just turned the walk. I was walking on a treadmill. It just turned the walk into like at first it was like, so do I now have to like cancel the school community and those things? But I was like, what do you really want at the core, Drew? And I've always had a love for people developing, developing in the way of like, hey, like there's three parts of you: your mind, your body, and your soul. We should be working on all three of those, of some sort. So they're like they're like a oiled machine.
Yeah,
But that to see people get past, I'm here, I'm stuck, and like to take the steps to get there. I've always felt that I've been able to bridge people to the next steps or give them something that gives them clear to make the next step. But it wasn't podcasting. I believe that's just a love I have for me. So that was that's the wrestle like that. And even after you just saying that, I'm like, dang, I knew he just hit me hard.
and I think there's things that we can still do. I think sometimes we hear that and it's like I can't do that, and I think there's a difference between not doing something and not focusing on it. So like
Mm,
I could know that God is calling me to run this community, but I have a passion for music. And when I have time, I can make music, but I cannot sacrifice the community to make music, if that makes sense.
mm.
And I think that's what I think about is like I don't want to like achieve all this stuff on earth and be able to post all these successes, but then get to heaven and God's like, bro, why didn't you do what I called you to do? I feel like that's the biggest thing. So
How do you know this because you've pivoted before? How do you pivot when you've made public declarations of what you were focused on and doing?
just make another one. Simple as that, bro. Like, hey man, I know I told you guys I was going to start this community, and this is what I just told you on the podcast. But after I got off, I went on a walk. God told me that I need to move to Ukraine and help them. Like that, that's what I got to do, bro. Like that, like
I
if y'all are
love that.
disappointed, that's cool. But I'm not here to please y'all. Like, and I hope y'all understand that. Like, it's that simple.
I love that. D, you've pushed me to make a to take another walk. But you this is confirmation. I literally before I got on this podcast, I was like, Something's gonna come out of this podcast. That's the answer. And I was like, I know it. I don't think I've ever even in posting like in the school group. I love the fact that you ask a follow up question that challenges us to really see like what do you really want. Like you had asked it one day, and I was like, he's right. He was like, why do you want to help 100 people
Right.
to the podcast? And in my head, I was like, it's not even 100 people about the podcast. It's about helping people like get unstuck. It just sounds better saying I'm a podcast strategist because it's something catchy or it's like a niche.
I thought about something when I was in Albania, because I would like be making videos on my phone, right? And in the city we were living in, I was like, I was like the only black person there basically, and
Damn.
like people would look at me like when I was making content, and I was just thinking like people watch like what the entertainment or what the game is. I was thinking of like sports, right? Of people are watching Kobe Bryant, but whatever they say and whatever they do does not stop the strategy that he has because they're not playing. And I was like, oh, that's the same thing, kind of like with being an entrepreneur, because of course they're watching because they're not doing it, but we can't
Yeah.
let their criticism stop. Like, oh, you suck or whatever it is. Like, bro, he's still got to go get points. He still has to win the game. And I think if you look at like the game as like I still got to do what God's calling me to do, it doesn't matter what anyone else is like saying. It's like you just got to do it, and like they're just
Hmm.
spectators at that point.
Hmm.
So that's why
I
I never really worry about it. It's like this is what I got to do. So
That's a muscle. That's a muscle you have, bruh.
yeah, because I've done it so many times at this point that it's like
Do what he's telling you to do.
yeah,
I have a note on my bathroom mirror, and it literally says, "Do whatever he tells you to do."
yeah.
That's literally
There you go.
this is good. This is good. Have another walk to take.
So how can oh let me ask this question first. That's
Hmm.
where I was kind of leading with the other question. What is something maybe that you're like needing support with right now? Because we never know like who could be watching this that might have the connection or the resources.
I think now, I'll say this. I'm gonna give that message to that podcast community. Because I know this is like a confirmation from God, but I think the help would be now. I'm I'm always area of should I make a faith based community or just a community where I help people get unstuck and build. So I think the help would be almost not advice as in the state of like I have to do what the advice is, just like different
Viewpoints.
different
Like what do
viewpoints.
people think? And like what are their like knowing your story just now, knowing what you want to do, what are their opinions on what you should do? And based on the different
Yeah.
opinions, you can kind of put them together and formulate your own kind of opinion on
Yeah.
it.
Like I know I have to have a community. Like I know that. I know it's not in the podcasting. That could be whatever. I'm not against that. But it's more so like I've always had the struggle of if I make it faith based, do I block people from coming in who want to learn about God and who want to just do life too? Or if I just make it faith based community, do I have a room full of people who just go to church who don't want to reach
Right.
the people outside of church? So that would be the help. That would be the help area. After I'm gonna cancel that community, take the walk, and then probably restart it, or I may just either restart it or scratch that one and do whatever. But advice and any of that would be helpful. Like this was definitely a confirmation though.
Dope, dope. Yeah, I'm interested to see what people comment on that. How can people connect with you? Like, where can people find you?
I'm on school, Drew Cost. I'm not on Instagram that much, but Drew Jeff Cost is my Instagram name. You can reach me there. Anywhere like or Facebook. Those two places I on a little bit, but I'm always on school usually in the mornings and at night. So, and I'm in the Undeterred group, the best.
Let's go. Anything else you want to share before we hop off here?
Thank you for this, man. This was I told someone yesterday in a coaching call that sometimes you don't realize how much you are processing stuff until you start talking to somebody
Facts.
who can hold space and who's not judging you to be like, you said you did 80 things already. Just stop. Like, so I'm like, it's great to have a space to be like someone's holding space and can actually like pour back into you. So thank you for this, man. This was great.
Now I appreciate you coming on because I know even before, like working out calls while you're moving, it's like it
Yo,
was tough, but I'm glad we
man.
could work this out.
Yeah, me too.
All right, then, bro.
Take care, man.